Well, finally back again with another video. It's been a while, but I've been so busy working on these sheaths and stuff, I haven't really had time to make any videos, but I've got some new products I wanted to show off a little bit. First off here, I just finished these the other day, but I've got some Scout style sheaths for the BK7. The K-Bar Scout sheaths have been my best seller all along, so finally I decided to make a Scout style one, horizontal sheath for the BK7, which the regular BK7 sheath is my number 2 best seller. But this is actually my second batch of these. I made a few of them a while ago and they sold out pretty quick before I could make a video or anything. And so I finally got some more, finished these up yesterday. I like doing the black straps on them occasionally, a few different ones with different stamps. Another new sheath is also from a new knife I got somewhat recently, but this is for the Ontario SP5, I think it's called. Yeah, the SP5 Survival Bowie. Picked one of these up recently. I saw some news that the Ontario Knife Company is actually changing hands. I've heard some people saying it's being shut down. I don't know if that's true. I heard mainly that it was bought out. They sold out to another company. I don't know if the knives are still going to be made or not, but around that time there were some pretty major deals on Ontario knives on Amazon, so I picked this up for like 45 bucks, which is a pretty good deal, I think. I don't know if they're still out there for that price or not, but this is my favorite out of all of their big knives, the best one that I've seen, because the edge geometry on it is pretty good. Some of the other ones are kind of bad that I've seen, but and this is a pretty nice big chopping knife. And this is the last sheath that I have left for it. I'd made a few of them, but already sold a couple. It has a little thing on there where you could put a strap or a paracord or something through to hold it down to your leg, because it is pretty long. So there's that one. And also a couple of more recent knife acquisitions. A couple of different knives from K-Bar. We've got the K-Bar Short, which is a 3/4 scale version of the regular K-Bar combat knife. I didn't realize it was serrated when I ordered it. I don't really like that, but it's good enough for making sheaths. It's a pretty handy little knife. It's not just a shorter blade. The whole thing, handle and all, is scaled down to 3/4 size. So I made some sheaths for that. Got the Scout style one. Got just one of these for now. And also a regular belt sheath version. And also I picked up a USN Mark 1 K-Bar. I've made some sheaths for these before. I had a customer send me one. And I've had a few other requests for them since then, and I kind of like the knife personally, so I finally bought myself one. Really handy little knife. So I've got these sheaths, pretty much the same as the ones I made before. Got a few of those, some with the bear stamp, some with the wolf on it. And also thought it would be kind of neat to make a pouch style sheath with the dangler for this knife. So I got a couple of those. Nice deep fit in there, more more of a bushcraft kind of style. And the last couple, also new knives. I got these kind of just on a whim. Decided to pick them up for myself. I don't think the sheaths for these are ever going to be real popular or anything. And these are actually kind of cheap knives, but I just like the looks of them. Got the Schrade Old Timer boot knife here, which I've sort of thought is kind of an interesting little knife for a while. Kind of a classic 19th century kind of look. I've seen old knives that are, kind of vaguely somewhat like this with the spear point blade. And they sell it as a boot knife, but the sheath that came with it actually is, not at all a boot sheath. So I made one that, you could carry in a boot. I put a steel holster clip on there, so you can clip it to a boot, inside or outside, depending on what kind of boot you're wearing. Something like a cowboy boot or engineer boot, you could, tuck it in with the clip on the outside, or do it the other way with the sheath on the outside. Or as a belt sheath, you can carry it inside or outside the waistband if you're looking to kind of conceal it that way. But just, I kind of like the looks of the knife, even though it's kind of a cheap, not the best quality knife. It's both of these, I'll show you this one next, but both of these I think would be pretty cool little knives if they were made to a little higher standards of quality and better materials. But I like them basically for the looks. And this one is the Marbles cowboy knife, which the Marbles company, as it used to be, really doesn't exist anymore. The trademarks and whatever, all that stuff is owned by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and the knives are made in China. But this is another one I just thought was a really cool looking little knife. The original USA made cowboy knife that Marbles had back in the day was a little bit different than this. It had I think a smaller blade and kind of a more sort of bulbous looking handle. It's kind of a funky looking little knife. And it came with a sheath like this, which is, there's no belt loop on it or a retention strap or anything. It's made to just be tucked into a belt. Mosquitoes getting me there. And it has the brass stud on it to keep it from falling through. And when it's stuck in a belt, it kind of holds the knife in somewhat tightly. It's, it can fall out. It's a very antiquated, obsolete kind of sheath, but just looks cool. It would look really nice stuck into a gun belt. And I just saw it and wanted to have one just because of the looks. Kind of surprisingly, it actually has a convex edge on it, and kind of like the other one, this would be a really neat little knife if it was a little bit better made. This is not full tang, by the way. I see a lot of people on YouTube and other places saying it's full tang. This is a frame handle, which actually most Bowie knives of the 19th century and newer ones with any kind of like elegant looking handle, and you see the steel there, almost none of those actually are full tang. It's a frame handle. There's a metal frame with scales on it, and the tang, you can actually kind of see it because of the way the edges are all rounded off from buffing, but you might be able to see the actual width of the tang there, which is kind of narrow. But I mean, it's a legitimate way of constructing a knife. It's done just as a way to make a handle with scales on it. You know, if you're using some kind of a material like antler or bone or ivory that you would generally be using scales for, and have a, you know, a hidden tang that goes down inside of it. But it's not full tang. And the reason for doing that is, I mean, if you just, you know, look at the way a knife is constructed, the guard has to fit over the tang, so that means that, you know, the butt end of the tang has to be the narrowest part of it. So to have any kind of a shape to the handle like that, anytime you see a knife where the handle kind of flares, which generally is what you would want in a handle, it's not full tang, because it just wouldn't work that way. The slot in the guard would be bigger than where it sits up at the top. But I made those anyways, and like I said, I'll probably just end up keeping these forever. But you know, if anyone wants them, I will sell them, and you know, I'll make more if someone buys them. But odds are they'll probably sit around for a while. I just kind of wanted to have them just for the looks, and thought it would be fun to make those sheaths for those two. But anyways, that's the new stuff that I've got around, and a lot of other sheaths on Etsy also, if you want to check those out in the Etsy shop. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.